Settle down, everyone. We have some announcements for you. There's no dignity in intros. Not on my channel, anyway. So this week you get two videos. One is my Warsong Gold strat video that I just put out. I'll put an annotation somewhere on the screen for you. The other one is this one, which is an announcements video, and I don't do announcements that often. I think that some YouTubers kind of saturate their channel with what's going on in my life and what am I thinking about doing with my channel rather than actually doing it. So I try and let the announcements sort of build up a bunch so that we have one decent sized video and just get them all out of the way all at once. So without further ado, let's jump into the announcements. First off, I am now a content contributor on the Victor Sanctum website. Now, you've probably seen Ryan Petrie from the Victor Sanctum podcast on his Monk accompanying me on a few adventures in my own videos, or you've probably heard his voice a few times. If you click the link down in the description below for the Victor Sanctum podcast, you'll hear his voice a lot more, as well as at the end of this video, I'll be playing a snippet from his podcast. He's a good friend of mine, and he runs a pretty good show. His podcast covers news and views from around not just Warcraft, but PvP in general on Blizzard games, Overwatch, Hearthstone, all of it. He's got news and commentary every week in a podcast. He also puts out some pretty good content on his blog. He's got sort of a good media umbrella for content creators under Victor Sanctum, and he just invited me to become a blogger. Basically, I am putting up videos embedded in blog posts with the show notes of those videos. If you're already subscribed to this channel, you're not missing out on anything, but just wanted to let you know that I'm out there as well, and to go check out his website. Also, if you are interested in being a content creator and you have some ideas for PvP related content that you want to put out, be it a vlog, a blog, even a segment. I know that some people do real short sort of audio segments that they submit and he plays them during his podcast. Or if you have any interest in doing your own podcast or YouTube channel, reach out to him, Ryan Petrie at the Victor Sanctum podcast, and I'll put his information down in the description below. If you have not historically been the type of person that clicks on the description, expands it, and clicks on any links, I'm going to put a treasure trove of links down in this video, so I'd encourage you to make an exception just this once. One additional thing under the Victor Sanctum umbrella that I wanted to mention is that they are currently running their first annual pumpkin carving contest, and it is I don't know all the rules, I'm not going to list them all, but I will put, again, a link to that in the description below, and all you need to know is pumpkins, WoW, and prizes. Go check it out. Speaking of podcasts, Winstead from the Rated Battleground podcast invited myself, Ryan Petrie from the Victor Sanctum podcast, and Garrisar from the Technically PvP podcast to join him in a roundtable episode on his own podcast where we discuss RBG group comp in response to a listener request. And this is a really great episode. I'd encourage you to go check it out. I think of the podcasts that I've participated in on PvP, this is probably one of the best ones that I've heard or participated in, for that matter. 90 minutes of solid banter, jokes, and commentary on group comps in RBGs. So again, in the description, I'll leave another link for that one, and give it a listen. I'm trying to encourage the guys to make it sort of maybe a monthly roundtable podcast thing. If you enjoy it as much as I do, please feel free to leave a comment below this video or a comment on the podcast itself saying so. Let's build up the peer pressure, guys. Let's get everybody else on board with doing this, because it really was a lot of fun and I think it's worth doing. A quick update on the state of the channel. recently I hit the 100 subscriber mark, which I guess is sort of a benchmark for YouTubers. I haven't done this before, but what it does mean is that I've been doing this now for a while. I've got about 25 public videos. I know the number's higher up on this screenshot. That's just because I've got a few that I pre-recorded just in case I get sick or something happens. There won't be an interruption in the weekly videos. But I've been doing this for a while, really enjoying it. If you see some of my older videos, I think it's pretty apparent that, or at least I think that I've gotten a lot better at making videos and at talking to a camera attached to my computer. I think that I'm really happy with the growth that we've had. I've been doing this only since May of this year, and it's been steadily increasing in subscribers and views and numbers. Just in the time it took me to get this video out, we went from 100 to 113 subscribers. So we got a nice little snowball growing, and I'm really happy with that, because when I started doing this, it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna go on YouTube and it was never about being a celebrity or making money or anything like that. In fact, I don't monetize any of my videos, so you shouldn't, as of now, be seeing any ads on my videos. I'm not making any revenue from that. I have a full-time job. There's no need for that, really. This is just something that I enjoy doing. Every weekend I go and spend probably most of the weekend making videos, scripting things, and making artwork for the videos and piecing them together, and then I put it up on YouTube and just enjoy the comments and views and watching the numbers go up throughout the week as I go to my normal day job. That's something I just really enjoy doing, and I plan to continue to do that. I'm passionate about the content that I put out. When I was thinking about what kind of videos I wanted to do, if you see some of my first videos, they were kind of toys in PvP, in regular battlegrounds and things like that. And then I kind of started thinking, well, what is it that I do in game that not a lot of other people do, that I think that I'm half decent at, that I could, I don't know, do some how-tos or tutorials on. And thus I ended up where I am today, doing group leadership and RBG, strat calling, target calling, etc. When I first started getting into that stuff, I remember I went to YouTube and did searches on what is a good strat for Warsong Gulch, what is a good strat for, you know, Arathi Basin, all these different things that I've covered videos on already. And back in the day when I looked for those things, I didn't find a lot of results that I found terribly helpful. There were some results, but they weren't to the quality that I was hoping to find, and they didn't really jive with me. So that's kind of my goal with this channel, and I hope that I'm getting near it with you. I hope that that you're finding these videos to be particularly helpful. Like I say, I do enjoy making them, and I plan to continue to do that. So speaking of the future, here's a few things that you can look forward to. I plan to continue with my weekly publishing schedule on Sunday mornings. That's working out pretty well for me. It's a pretty good balance. I can spend Fridays and Saturdays making videos and then put them out on Sunday and then go run some RPGs or, you know, relax before the week starts again. That's a pretty good balance for me. I've had people encourage me to do more, and in reality, I mean, for every video you see, I probably have tried to make 2 or 3 and failed. And so for me, I'm still learning to make good videos, and quality is really important to me. So when I do manage to put out one or more than one video in a week, lately I try and backlog it and hold on to it for the weeks when, you know, work just murders me or if I get sick, or we got the holidays coming up. And so I really feel like having that consistency of a weekly schedule that I actually hit every week is key. And I've been doing that, and I think it pays off in the long run. Going forward, I plan to do more featured RBGs. I know I've now done a strat keys and comp video for most of the maps out there. I think I still haven't hit Twin Peaks, and in reality I've been in some good Twin Peaks games, but I just cursed to forget to hit the record button every time I get in there. So eventually, one of these days, I'm going to get good footage of a Twin Peaks map and do a video talking about the strat for that. In reality, I mean, if you're anxious about it, in reality, most of it is really a lot of the same as the Warsaw Gulch video that I just put out. The concepts are pretty much the same at a high level. But in general, going forward, I mean, just because I've gone through all those maps doesn't mean I don't want to continue to do sort of the same format of videos I've been doing, featuring a BG, talking about it, the pros, the cons. These are never ideal games. It's never a game where I went in and with a team that just did everything right. Because in reality, if we did everything right, it wouldn't be a good game. We'd just be raffle stomping the other team, and there wouldn't be much to learn from. And so I try and look for games that, I mean, there's stuff that I do wrong. There are a few commenters that I delete their comments, but there are a few commenters that are very adamant about how I play my Warlock improperly sometimes. In reality, trying to call strat and target call and build the group with people out of PubFinder that are sometimes good and sometimes just not, you know, a little more novice, that takes a lot of concentration. And yeah, I probably don't play my class as well as I could in those situations. Sometimes I really do enjoy getting into games where somebody else has taken the lead and I can kind of sit back and just really play my class the way that it should be played and focus on that without having to worry about so much else. But that's not the case as often. So that's why I need you viewers to start building groups and then I can get into them and just play the class for a while. Now, in all seriousness, I think that I'd like to continue finding good games that demonstrate good things, even if it's just, oh, we had good communication, or we had a particularly good play, midway through the game or something like that. I enjoy posting that footage as well with the commentary. Other topics that I want to talk about, sometimes I do videos where it's just me talking over maybe random battleground footage or something like that. I've had a lot of comments, a lot of questions asking for me to talk about target calling, and so I've been thinking about that a little bit more, trying to script through a few more videos. I think that that's going to take a number of smaller videos because there's a lot of soft skills in target calling. It's not a simple equation that I can just have you plug in and you'll be the perfect target caller. So I'm going to put together a series of videos for that over time, talking about target calling, talking about team fights. I also had some questions about add-ons, so I want to talk about add-ons specifically for strat callers, so that they can have better situational awareness. Also add-ons for being a target caller, so you know what buffs and debuffs are on people and cooldowns and etc. I want to do a few videos on that. I'd also like to do a little bit more theory crafting. I haven't done one of those videos in a while, but just put on the tinfoil hat and throw around some wild and crazy ideas that people might try with different comps or different strategies in RPGs. Also, I have some ideas for some new content formats, things I haven't tried yet at all. Some things that are maybe a little bit less formal, a little bit less scripted, invite some guests, some collabs to do some videos with me. And so lastly, I would like to find more content creators, people who would like to collaborate with me and make some cooler videos. Maybe it's just a one-off thing, or maybe it's a whole series. I've got some great ideas, and so I'd like to find some more people, and not just podcasters. So far, it does seem like I'm big into podcasts, but it's just I got into that community for a while and met a lot of people, a lot of great people, had a lot of great fun with them, and continue to do work with them, and I will continue to work with them. But I'd like to expand my circles a little bit as well, and meet some YouTubers and maybe some people that do other forms of content. Collaborate with them in some way. So that's all the announcements that I had planned for this episode. Like I said, check out the description below. There's going to be a number of links for you to check out down there, to several different podcasts, to Victor Sanctum, to the Rated Battleground podcast, technically PvP. I'll put all that stuff in there. The pumpkin carving contest as well. As promised, I'm going to transition into the end card where I'll play a snippet from the Victor Sanctum podcast. Like and subscribe, and join me again next week for another video.
Join us weekly on the Victor Sanctum Podcast, where we are your source for all things PvP in the Blizzard universe. Whether it be live on our Twitch or on iTunes and Stitcher, each week we discuss news and PvP in the World of Warcraft, Heroes of the Storm, Hearthstone, and Overwatch. This week we discuss BlizzCon 2016 and what lies ahead for the various competitive teams that have their eyes and hopes on becoming the 2016 champions of BlizzCon, as well as the attendees who will be there in Anaheim, California, and those who will be catching the events unfold from the comfort of your own home via BlizzCon's virtual ticket. We have a new blog up this week that addresses changes in PvP in the World of Warcraft in patch 7.1, due to be released on October 25th, and how these changes might even affect the outcomes at BlizzCon. We also have the Victor Sanctum's first annual pumpkin carving competition, so be sure to go check us out. Visit our website at victorsanctum.com to find our blog and web version of our podcast, and you can also find us on Facebook and Twitter.
So what, I'm a cat. It's the internet. I'll be a star in no time.